I'm the Deadwood Jedi. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. I am again in the account of Captain Bayi. Thank you so much for letting me borrow this. There's going to be links to his Twitch and YouTube in the description and the comments down below. Go check him out, please. Much thanks for him letting me use his account. We want to check out one more of the new champions in this game that he has leveled up and ready to go. And that's going to be a small, diminutive one. Melga Steelgirdle. She's tiny, but she packs a punch. Actually, I don't know that she really packs a punch. Her job, much like the champion we looked at previously, Ursula, she is a fantastic support champion. I've heard nothing but great things about her. Haven't checked her out myself, so I'm actually really interested to get into her kit. But she has a lot of HP, good defense, speeds at a solid spot for most content. Doesn't need accuracy, not going to be a hard hitter, so we're not worried about the crit and crit damage. Obviously, in a shield set, I think that's going to be useful for a lot of content. And if we look at her skills, her A1, 50% chance of removing one random debuff from a random ally. That books up to 75%. Doesn't remove debuffs from herself, so keep that in mind. But this is really nice. This is a really nice ability just on her A1 skill. Really good, almost like passive skill right there. And then her A2 places a shield buff on all allies equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. I love those skills, right? You don't want it of the other champion's max HP. You want it on her so you can stack HP on her and you know exactly what you're getting. She has almost 70,000 HP. That means we know we're putting nearly 14,000 HP shield on all of our champions. That's really strong. Also plays continuous heal, which is really good. And this is a 3-turn cooldown, which is nice and quick. And then her A3 skill, it's a 5-turn cooldown, pretty common for this ability, revives 2 random allies. So it's not an AoE revive, so it's not going to do everything for you, but it is a random ally revive, 20% HP, 20% turn meter. Not the greatest things, but not terrible. But I think the best part is places a shield equal to 30% of their max HP. So even though they only have 20% HP, you're really giving them 50% HP with that shield on top of the HP. Not bad at all. And the best part is she's only an epic champion, and she's dwarf, which we need her for faction wars. The aura's nice too. HP in all battles, really good. Now, one thing, she isn't mastered, so keep that in mind as we're going through this. She doesn't have masteries on, which would definitely up her abilities and skills a lot more. But her biggest appeal is going to be helping you through one of the toughest factions in this game, the Dwarf Faction War. Now, it's not Dwarf Day today, so I can't really showcase her in that, which is a little bit of a negative. But I think we can still see what her kit does just in other areas just by looking at her, and you'll be able to see how important that is for dwarves. Now, the only other revive champion I know in dwarves is Molly Tankard. So if you don't have the legendary champion, Molly Tankard, Melga Steelgirdle is going to be immensely helpful for you. Dwarf factions is really tough, and without a reviver, it's really hard, especially because the boss that just does massive amounts of damage on the final stage. Melga's going to make that so much easier for you. And actually pairing her with Molly is a wonderful way to go with this. So she's just going to be great for that. I can tell you that right now. But let's go ahead, roll her in dungeons again, kind of see what she does. Now, I generally like bringing people into the dragon. It's generally where I like to take them, kind of give a feel for how they are. Molly's, or I should say Melga's not really going to do much for us there, right? She puts up heal. She has that shield. Those are great things, but I don't think we're really going to see her full kit by doing that. So what I'd like to do is actually take her into spiders here, which is kind of an odd choice. But we're going to take her into spiders, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to take her in for one of these cold hearts. Now, because of this, we're not going to probably win everything here. But what I would like to see, and this is kind of why I want to bring her in here, is how she revives if somebody dies, how she removes debuffs when people are getting hit. With her A1 skill, and that's kind of the stuff that I want to check her out. So we're just going to see how it works. This is not somewhere I would actually bring her in, but it should give us a better idea of how her kit works. That's kind of what I'm more interested in, to be honest with you guys. So we're going to let them kind of roll here. And look, she already gets to take her turn right off the bat. So let's go ahead and see what she does. I'm sure she's going to put up the shield. Yep, she does right there. You see the continuous heal and the shield on top. So we don't really have to worry about that. Let's get the ally protection going from him, and we can do some work here. Kill some of the spiders. Great, great, great. We're getting some poisons on Coldheart. Kind of what we want to see, to be frank. Let's see how we do here. I'm just going to kind of manual a little bit. And let's see if we can remove one of these just by going with the A1 here. Boy, she is slow. This is on 2 times? This is on 2 times speed? She's pretty slow. So it didn't remove any of the debuffs. It's okay. Wasn't fully expecting it to. Miscreant Monster go. I kind of want her to die, so that's part of why I'm letting some of this happen here. We want to see how Melga's revive works. So gonna kind of give that a look. So there you go. We lost both Mythgrave Monster and we lost Cold Heart. Typically that would be an awful outcome, right? But we're gonna see exactly how this works here. And here we get the revive going. Actually, I should be able to click auto and she should do it on her own. There you go, get those revives. You can see we got the shield from the revive. We've got the HP bump. It's not quite a 50%, it looks like, which is unfortunate. That's kind of what I was anticipating, but it looks like it's a little bit less. So it's kind of how it is sometimes, I guess. We'll kind of see how it works from here on. And at this point, we kind of let it run and just see. Again, I want to see if she can remove one of these debuffs with her A1 skill. It is only a 40% chance, so it's not going to land all the time. It's not going to happen every single time. But there you go. She removed the debuff right there. I mean, that's something, right? I'm not in love with her. This is not a champion I want to bring in Arena. It's not really a champion I want to bring in Doom Tower. I think she's specifically for Faction Wars. Obviously, if you need a revive champ when you're going through dungeons, when you're going through campaign, she can be useful. But I don't see her being especially great for anything outside of Faction Wars. Faction Wars, she's especially useful because that faction is in dire need of help. The Dwarf faction, and it's an extremely tough faction to deal with. So, is she good? Yeah, she's good. Would I use her instead of, say, like a Reliquary Tender? Actually, probably not. I would prefer Reliquary Tender's Cleanse. I think that's a more useful skill. Would I use her instead of Ursula? Absolutely not. Cardinal, no. I think she's probably on the lower tier of revive champions. But she's Dwarvish. And that makes a huge difference. You know, the shield is definitely useful. So, like, you can definitely build her in different ways. And having that on a 3-turn cooldown is definitely helpful. I mean, that part alone can be really useful for stuff like Doom Tower, where you're trying to face the Scarab King. I can see that being extremely helpful. 3-turn cooldown on that shield is really nice. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure exactly how long a turn it is. Let's check and see. I think it might be a 3-turn cooldown on that shield, which could makes her a lot more viable than it would otherwise. So let's see here really quickly. That didn't help. Okay, so let's go check out the champion really quick. Let's go see Melga. Where is she? There she is. Skills, 8-2 sheer. So it is a 2-turn shield. But every 3 turns being able to put that up can be really helpful, especially against that, especially against Scarab King, right? So that's actually great. So in that sense, I think she's going to be good against the Scarab King in Doom Tower, and I think she's going to be great in Faction Wars. Outside of that, I'll be honest, I don't see a lot of use for her. She's not going to hit hard. She's not going to do much else for you. So that's it. We don't need to go into any more depth than that. I mean, you can see she's a solid champion. She's going to be really almost essential for Faction Wars, and she's going to be helpful if you're really struggling against the Scarab King in Doom Tower. So I think in those 2 places, she makes excellent sense for you. So yeah, that's it, guys. You know, one thing I will point out, it's a 3-turn cooldown for her shield ability. Sandler Survivor is a 3-turn cooldown on his Extend Buffs ability. Those 2 make a pretty good pair. You put those 2 together, I think you'll be able to keep shields up the full time against the Scarab King. So that might be something that you might want to consider. Even bringing in a champion like, what's her name, Valerie, can also be really good because she'll extend that buff, and then for the 1 gap turn, she can put her own shield up. So there's definitely some possibilities there for you guys to use. I like her. I think she's good. Definitely, if you have her and you're struggling with Faction Wars, definitely worth leveling up in that case. You can probably take her to 5-star. You probably don't need a full 60 here because you can still stack the HP and the defense on. You don't need accuracy, so you don't need to worry about an accuracy banner. Probably 5-star would be enough without having to fully take her up. Obviously, you can see she's still functional even without masteries, so you don't have to worry too much about that. And I think in that scenario, I think she'll be very good for you guys. But she's going to be a little situational, much like a Doom Priest. So with that said, guys, hopefully that was helpful for you. Much thanks to Captain Bay. Again, his links will be down below in the comments and the description of this video. If you like this stuff, guys, hit that subscription, like. Actually, let me know in the comments. Are you enjoying these videos, these little spotlights on these champions? I enjoy doing them, and I think they're helpful for you guys. So definitely let me know about that. If you're struggling with the Dwarf faction, let me know if you're planning on using Melga, because I think that is the #1 champion you guys should be looking at if you're struggling with that. She's going to be a big help in advancement there. So, yeah, guys, till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.